Yeah, this kind of online classes is actually very tough to engage people, because you're not here. I have to everything do with my energy, my voice. So right now I updated. What the updates I made is very simple. I have updated Training Cloud's address and I changed Babu Ceramics to Krishna Ceramics. That's all I did. So let me run the query and see if the address changes or whatever I made is there or not. So yeah, Training Clouds is at Civic Center. Babu Ceramics is updated as Krishna Ceramics, and we have to pass today. Then we are done. So while running the job, what I did is I did not change the date, guys. That is only the thing I am redoing everything. See, I have put it as a low date. Actually, in the script, I have given a different date, right? So I have to go and modify in the script, or I can pass it at the runtime. See, this is the date which is the initial load, the history load. It should not be the same now. We should change it. So I can always override this variable and put it as today's date. So let me, I mean, I can still keep this date as it is, and I can change it in runtime, or uh, or what I will have to do is the runtime. Yeah, I will change it here just not to do too many things at a time. 09/18/2001. Only today Krishna Ceramic is Babu Ceramic is changed as Krishna Ceramic. So I cannot put a history date there. That is what the mistake I did in the last load. So I don't want to do the same mistake again. So let me quickly, quick and dirty, change this as earlier, because I'm going to give this job to you, right? So it should not confuse you. I'm trying to be very clear on what I'm doing. But when you run these jobs, you'll understand everything, guys. Don't worry about it. Things are not that complex. Taken care. So I'm running this job again to monitor those changes, build my type 2 dimension. Let us see what will happen now. So the job is ran successfully. If you see, guys, history preserving has touched 2 records. That is a good indication for you. History preserving touched 2 records and it made it into 4 records. You can look at the statistics. They will give you the what has happened. So now we go and look at the target. You will actually see the data in the right format what we wanted. So let me go here in the and we'll end the show actually. I will have to show you a couple of more transformations to end the day, but you will have to bear with me. Now you will see it exactly what I wanted. See, it was Babu Ceramics starting 1950, the day we got, the day India became republic. Babu Ceramics is being started in Beijing Avenue, Houston. Then later on this particular date, September 18th, Krishna has acquired it and he changed the name to Krishna Ceramics. So you exactly see the same thing here. Now they are in perfect shape. This is what is a history preserving type 2 transformation, guys. Type 2 slowly changing dimension actually. And how do you do it using data services is here. Now the Training Clouds was in 132 Singapore Drive, Indianapolis from the date 26 January 1950 till yesterday. Only today it moved into Civic Center Drive and the date is today. And when it will end date is a high end date. Now I'll go back and show you what I did in the data services to achieve this, because that is what is important, right? So it is a real-time scenario. It happens every day. So what I am trying to do is I am trying to compare based on the customer ID all the rest of columns. So I am giving the the columns I want to compare using the table compare transform. I have already picked up my target table for comparison. And generate key column is an optional field. When you have a surrogate ID, you will use this. I will talk about surrogate ID soon. We need little more time to talk about surrogate ID, but you'll understand the surrogate ID concept sooner. And after I do this table comparison, I go into history preserving, and here look at it closely. I am also asking it to preserve the history based on these columns. Compare these columns. So it will compare these columns, and the valid date is I am giving a start date. The valid to date field is end date. These are the two fields in the target table. The new record, I am always telling it keep the end date as a high date. Whatever the format I want it to give, I can type in, or I can use my global variables and pass the value here. Also, you have two options. How do you want to update the old record? Use the valid date of the new record. If I say the first option, it will end date the history record today and will start date the history record also today. Which means if an address change has happened, if you look at this record, you will understand. Training Clouds was in Indianapolis till yesterday. If I choose the first option, the start date also will come as 2011 September 17th. But when you really do a business report, how can a company exist in two places when it is already moved on 17th? So till 17th I was in Indianapolis, whereas 18th of September I moved to San Rafael. The same thing I tried to achieve through the tool. You have two options. Use valid from date to new record, from date of the new record, or use one day before the valid from date of the new record. That is what I used. And in some cases, people wanted to use the current date. They don't want to use yesterday. Then you can say use valid date, the first option, valid from date of new record. It will use the same day as the end of the first record and start of the next record. And the other important thing you will have to look at here, the current flag. I am saying current flag, the column is CURR underscore indicator. I am asking to set the value as Z0. I used the variable, global variable there because I already initialized Z0 with a 0. Let me go and show you there. In the properties, if you go and see, the global variable Z0 already has a 0. This is the purpose of global variable. And one time you decided you don't want to make it as 0, instead someone will say, no, I wanted my default as 5. Yes, you can go and change it here, it becomes 5. So you can use global variables in n number of ways. I tried to show some of them and something which is being used. So I'm using the global variable, or if someone has a confusion, you can pass even a 0 like this. Set the value. So current record will have as value 0. Reset the value. The previous record will be updated with a value of 1. That happens for the current indicator field only. Rest of the things stay the same. Don't worry about this option, preserve deleted rows as update rows. This is an option not for us, but we will come across it sometime later. Whenever you wanted to do a delete operation, you can always preserve that deleted record, which is a soft delete. But let me not confuse too much. So you will have to practice this, guys. Any questions now? Before I take two more transformations and we'll end the show today. Did you understand the type 2 transformation? Let me go over the entire class. Ashok is offline, so I'm not going to wait for him. Ashok, are you there? Ashok? Okay. Chaudhary Babu, do you have any questions at this point? Do you understand type 2 transform? I know you have problem with the microphone, so you can type. Was that? Okay. So Hilal, do you have any questions for the type 2 transform? Krishna, do you have any? Yeah. Krishna, you will have to relate it with your real-time scenario. Krishna was in Chirala for so and so time. For 25 years, he lived in Chirala in Ramalayam Street. And Krishna went to London in 2009 January. Let us suppose someone which is a credit bureau wanted to monitor your history. That is the type 2 transformation. So if you go and browse the data, you will see that Krishna has moved from so and so place to so and so place on so and so date. The same thing we try to achieve in here. I'm going to, this is already a recorded session. I'm going to send you this and you can make use of it, look at it. Whatever I try to do is being recorded. Try to do the same thing and you'll understand what we achieved today. And Sridevi, do you have any questions now? Syed, finally, about yourself. Okay, I can explain you. I can explain you here. Table comparison, it will only compare two tables. It cannot do any updates or inserts. If you give an X table and ask it to compare with a Y table, if you have the same columns, it will compare and will give you the results. After getting that results, the next thing is picked up by history preserving transformation. It will take that result set and it will compare with the target. Here it is not going to compare. It will take the result set and it will perform this operation on that particular result set. That is the purpose of the history preserving. It is actually the history preserving which will actually update the existing record and create a new record. It does the two operations. Let me show you in the log. Then if I run in the debug mode, it will be very much clear, but I don't have the debugger here. That's the problem. But let me make use of this one. Here it will be visible for you. See, I have extracted 12 records. This is the one. Customer dim extraction query is here. Into which history preserving it got only 2 records. So what has happened in the table comparison is here. All the 12 records are being compared. But the history preserving will get only 2 records. History preserving will make it into 4 records. Why it will make it into 4 records? 2 inserts and 2 updates, right? So history preserving treats them as 4 records so that it will preserve the current records and update it as a current indicator as 1 and end date it. So it does 2 operations on 2 records. It will insert 2 more records, so the total is 4 here. Is it anything relatable? Do you understand? So that is what the purpose of history preserving transformation. If you see table comparison, it has compared all the 12. But the output is only 2 records. And the history preserving has sent to the target is 4 records. Rest of all them stays as it is. No updates have been made to this record or this record or this record. Only it will touch those 4 records which has updated. Actually it is you, Syed, who mentioned from the source I will identify only those touched records. The same thing I did here. I will not touch the entire data. Instead, though the source data is all 12 records, I will touch only that which is changed. The changes that are being made, I am identifying based on the column comparison, right? That's what I did. So I will save this job. I will send it to you. And if you follow the exact steps, whatever I am doing here, and if you create your database and tables, there is 5 days for you. Make use of 5 days and come back happily saying this worked for me. Then we can make it go further. Let me put also an end script here. History preserving.